If we play all of our cards right, Donald Trump could lose in a landslide come November. I want to break down some new data that shows how we could get there, and it also shows VP Harris pulling ahead in the swing states, winning virtually every national poll, and winning in every single reliable predictive model. But the only actual poll that matters is the poll on November 5th. It's showing up to the ballot box in voting, of course. I just wanted to highlight some of these polls coming up because about a month ago, I'm not going to lie, I felt like the battle we had ahead was insurmountable. I felt like President Biden being down 4 or 5 points in some of those swing states was super hard to come back from, but now the energy has flipped, and I feel like we can all feel that. So, this reads, Kamala Harris takes 8-point lead over Donald Trump in new poll, and some of the most shocking parts are the demographic breakdowns in this poll. But first, I want to show you how hard Fox News and MAGA Republicans are flopping around like a fish out of water, trying to come up with any attack against Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. But this clip went viral last night. It has like 4 million views because people are laughing at how desperate this is. I'll let you watch it.
Here's Twitchy Tim on stage, waving profusely in a very unsettling manner. Very unsettling. Men should not move this way. It's not the way we move. And the handshake is probably the most telling. This is Walz and his wife shaking hands like business associates, followed by a weird hug. Now let's compare that to Walz's interaction with Kamala's husband, Doug. Interesting. What's going on here?
Did AI write this segment? I literally don't get what they're pointing at. When I saw this live, we all watched this live, I thought it was incredibly wholesome. I thought it was sweet. I thought he was charismatic, the way he was in the background cracking up. Meanwhile, over with JD Vance and Donald Trump, you never see them laugh. You see JD Vance putting on eyeliner or whatever while simultaneously saying that drag queens need to be removed from the country or whatever. But nothing that they're saying here has any credibility. Like, this is a bro hug between Kamala's husband, Doug, and Tim Walz. It is the most normal bro hug ever. What are they trying to say in this clip? Watch.
That's to Walz's interaction with Kamala's husband, Doug. Interesting.
All they just say is the word interesting, which makes me think they know that they're BSing here. They know that they're just pointing out random stuff, and they're just saying the word interesting to see if the people at home can draw their own conclusions. They're basically leading their viewers to the conclusion without actually saying it. Watch this clip.
I've heard from a lot of supporters as well when I go up and ask them, why are you voting for Harris and Walz? And many of them tell me it's because they seem like normal, regular people that you would want to hang out with, whereas they look at people like former President Trump as being someone who can't really relate to the average American, especially here in Wisconsin. This is a rural area, and so these are working class people, and that's what Walz really brings to the ticket. And I've heard
JD Vance, every time we get some old audio resurfaced of him, it's him saying something to the effect of, childless cat ladies are weird, women should stay in the kitchen, women should know their role. He hasn't actually said women should know their role, but that's basically what he's saying in other words. And whenever some clip resurfaces of Tim Walz is him going, I just want kids to have food in their bellies. I mean, there is a fundamental difference between these two tickets, and I really do think the American people see that. I think it's reflecting in the polling. Now, all that matters is that people actually turn out on November 5th. I don't want to create this false sense of hope that just because this poll came out that shows Kamala Harris blowing Donald Trump out of the water, that we have absolutely won. This isn't the real work. The real work is done on the ground with door knocking, canvassing. People are mobilizing by the thousands, tens of thousands right now in swing states with different organizations, and you can be a part of that. If you live in a swing state, go find a local group around you to canvass with. Even if you don't live in a swing state, you can phone bank, you can donate. There's so many ways to help. But let's break down this article that shows Kamala Harris leading by 8 points. Kamala Harris has taken an 8 percentage point lead over Donald Trump according to a new poll, and I really want to highlight that this poll is an A+ pollster. It is A+ in all of the predictive models, which means that it is very high quality. This survey, conducted by Marquette Law School between July 24th and August 1st, shows that when third-party candidates are included, Harris leads among likely voters on 50% to Trump's 42%. Harris has improved the Democrats' position since May, when Trump was leading 44% to Joe Biden's 41%. That's why I was saying about a month ago, I definitely was not feeling this energetic. I was feeling like it was almost insurmountable. I was not feeling good. I think we all felt that. Harris is also leading among registered voters on 47% to Trump's 41%. In Marquette Law School's last poll in May, Trump was 3 points ahead of Biden among registered voters, securing 40% of the vote to the president's 37%. So, like, the numbers, you can just see a difference in the turnout and the enthusiasm rate. At first, it was 40% to 37%, but now it's 50% to 42%. So Donald Trump hasn't gained that much enthusiasm, but the Democratic ticket has gained a 13-point shift in support, probably due to enthusiasm. However, Harris does not just lead when third-party candidates are included. She is also leading her opponent in a head-to-head matchup where she is the choice for president with the support of 52% of registered voters, while Trump is the choice for 48%. So again, when you introduce RFK, it seems like RFK Jr. siphons voters away from the Trump ticket more so than the Harris and Walz ticket, because I think he really appeals to that conspiratorial vote. Now, this is incredibly anecdotal, but I have friends from high school that voted Trump right when they could, right when they turned 18, and now they like RFK Jr. because he has all of the same anti-establishment, outsider, anti-vax, conspiratorial positions that Donald Trump holds. He rails against the system and says that he's going to come in and change everything, when in reality, you want someone like Kamala Harris and President Biden who understand that you make incremental change through legislation in Congress. So, when passing a lot of this legislation that President Biden has been a big part of, like the Affordable Care Act or the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill or the CHIPS and Science Act or PACT Act, a lot of the results of these bills don't show for a decade or so. It takes time for the results to show. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't even happen in 1 year, and that is why people like RFK Jr. and people like Donald Trump, who promise this radical change, Donald Trump says that if you get him into office, he'll fix the entire country in 4 years. That is just not realistic. People like Kamala Harris, they understand the long game, that if you pass an infrastructure bill, it needs to look 10 years into the future. Either way, among likely voters, Harris received 53% and Trump 47%. Her lead marks a substantial improvement for the Democrats in a head-to-head lineup after Marquette Law School's survey for May showed Biden and Trump were tied among registered voters. Now, I also want to break down this 538 model right here. It's not even the model itself that shows Harris ahead. It's not even the model itself that shows Harris ahead by 1.9 points, but they also have an aggregate of all of the most recent polls going back over the past few days. I mean, these only go back a week because we've gotten a lot of polls, but you can see that every single poll in the general election shows that VP Harris is ahead. +2, +1, even, +3, +4, +3, +3, +2, +1. Obviously, these +1 polls aren't ideal, but the fact that we are moving towards +3, we are moving towards +4 is absolutely amazing, and they're putting that in the model. Of course, you see Kennedy down here at 5.3%. That is just hilarious. He has no chance. Finally, I want to play one clip of somebody on Fox News sticking up for Tim Walz. Watch.
But what I'm saying is that since then, you look what Minnesota's done. They've tried to heal. They've moved on. Minnesota's now ranked 4th by U.S. News & World Report as one of the best states in the country to live in. And if we're going to call him a liberal, let's talk about what he did as a liberal. He funded for kids in public schools, free breakfasts, he expanded access to Medicaid, and he expanded access to medical and family paid leave. This is the most pro-family governor in the country. Now he's going to be one of the most pro-family tickets in America.
Now, the Fox host tries to laugh it off in a slimy way while this dude is listing all of the legislative accomplishments of Tim Walz, and this laugh just doesn't land. It seems very weird, it seems very cheap, and everything this guy says is incredibly solid. If you agree, if you enjoy this video and appreciate what I do, all that I ask is you leave a like, comment a blue heart, interact with some other people in the comment section, hit that subscribe button, but most importantly, have a great day yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.